Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today is kind of a surprise video because this is a not normal day that I usually upload, but I'm here to introduce to you the May the Force Read With You Readathon announcement video. This is the fourth year running it, and for those of you that don't know, May the Force Read With You is a readathon based around Star Wars because May is the Star Wars month, like May the 4th. So yeah, this whole readathon is based around Star Wars, and my partner Marcus did all the work to like make this into a very like choose your own adventure style based readathon this year. It was kind of like that last year, but this year it's very in depth. You get like full character sheets. It's kind of a little bit like D&D style if you are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, so I'm going to go into it and show you guys. I have all of it kind of like printed out here. I will be providing a link to a digital version so you guys can get all the prompts and like everything in a digital PDF as well as the digital character sheet as well. So yeah, that'll all be provided in the description in the video. Also noting that you don't have to be like a fan of Star Wars to do this readathon. Like this readathon is open to anybody. The prompts aren't like themed after reading actual Star Wars books. They're very much more like open, and like you'll see as we go through the prompts that they're not really like specific to like one certain thing or along Star Wars at all. So you'll see. Also, prefacing before I get into it, our toner at work was not there in the printer, so I had to go to Staples to get these printed, and some of them didn't fully like print the way they're supposed to. So you'll see like there might be something like missing here and there, but I assure you the versions that will be linked in this description of the video will be good for you. So everybody is going to get a character sheet. And so this is your character sheet that you can kind of like create your character. So there's a bunch of different fields on here that you will fill out like as you go throughout the readathon. Another thing is this readathon is like a do at your own pace kind of thing. It's the full month of May. You can do it however fast or slow you want to. There is no pressure to like dive in and get everything done all at once. If you want to go for everything, by all means, go for it. If you want to just do like some of them and get to a certain ranking, then that's totally fine too. So this is your character sheet, it has your information, and then the other half of the character sheet has different areas where you can like label off different things you've checked as you go through the readathon. So there's a section for partners, abilities, companions, starships, weapons, and then the main one is more like your character, like title, name, calling, species, and like your character bio. And feel free to make up like a fun character bio and even share those if you want, because I'm curious to see like the creativity that everybody comes up with for this readathon. All right, so I'm going to dive into how this pertains to the different stuff in the readathon and go over each one. Also, right before I get into it, I wanted to show off my new Star Wars shirt that I actually just got the other day in preparation for this readathon. It is Darth Vader, and it says, "This is my happy face." I love this shirt. I also got a Baby Yoda one too. I'll probably wear that during like some reading sprints or something during the month of May. You'll see it then. But anyways, super excited about the new shirts. All right, let's jump into the explanation of it. Okay, so this is the first page of it. I have this off to the side, so like if you guys see me looking to the side, it's because I'm reading through everything because there's a lot of information to go over. But anyways, in past years, we've had two different paths that you can take. So you can go light side or dark side. This year, we're calling it callings, and there's 5 different options you can do. So they're listed here. You can do Jedi Order, Beastmasters Guild, which is light neutral. Also, Jedi Order is like full light. Bounty Hunters Guild, which is neutral. Assassin's Guild, which is neutral dark. And Sith Order, which is full dark. So those are the 5 different callings you can do. So each calling has their own sheet. This is the Jedi Order one, but there's a lot of information on here. I'll kind of like go through it and give you guys an explainer of each section, and then like I'll show all of them. But anyways, it's the same way where you get points for doing prompts, except this year it's like a point system. So you're accumulating points throughout the month for different things. So based on the amount of points you accumulate over the duration of the readathon, that will like improve your rank and improve your position. So that's where this section is here. And then this section on the side kind of just like explains how many points you can get for monikers and achievements and your species. Now, these are all things that I'm going to dive into deeper, so don't worry. I'm just giving you a brief explanation right now. Down here is the abilities chart, and as you can see on this one for Jedi Order, there is lightsabers crossing out a certain section, because if you're going for a certain calling, so for example the light version, which is the Jedi Order, you can't do the dark side prompts. Those ones are not available to you. Same with down here for accomplices, because those are specific only to dark side. You can't do those prompts. So that kind of like indicates to you which ones you can do. And so that's why we have one of these for each calling, so that you can see exactly what route you can take, or like what your options are for each one. Then down here we have invaluables, which are kind of like our additional things. So we got companions, starships, and weapons. And it also shows the point values that you can accumulate for each one based on which calling you take. And then, yeah, at the bottom we have partners. And so those are the options that you can get for the specific calling you choose. I also will note that certain point values are different for different callings. And so in that, I mean like light side, get more points for doing light side prompts. Dark side, get more points for doing dark side prompts. Neutral gets more points for doing neutral prompts. And if you're like an assassin or something, you get more points for doing like the weapons, whereas the Beastmaster would get more points for doing companions. It all kind of like lines up and makes sense with each calling, and like the points are distributed in a way that makes sense to that calling. All right, so the next part I'm going to jump into is the species. This is one that we had last year, but we added some new ones this year. Basically, everybody starts off by default as a human, and so humans have no reading required for that prompt, but there's also no points associated with that. Every other species, if you do a species, gets you 1 point. So the different species are, you can be a clone, and this is to read a sci-fi book or a title that starts and ends with the same letter. You can be an Ewok, and so this is to read a comedy or a comic or manga. You can be a Hutt, and so this is to read a crime book or a book where you can see the ground on the cover. A Jawa, so this is to read a mystery book or a book that has shadows on the cover. Togruta, I think I'm saying that right. I hope so. This is to read an art or poetry book, or one with an illustrated cover. A Twi'lek, so this is to read a romance book or a book that's part of a duology. A Wookiee, read a historical fiction or a book with deckled edges. Yoda's species, read a fantasy book or a book by your favorite author. Or a Zabrak, read a horror book or a book with warm colors on the cover. So all of those will get you 1 additional point towards your calling, except for humans. Okay, so now we'll get into the abilities. And as you can see, depending on which calling you choose, there's certain ones available to you. So I'm going to go through all of them. But yeah, so the first ones are enlightenments, and this is on the light side. And so these are Sever Force, which is to complete a series. We have Jedi Mind Trick, which is to read a book with a reflection on the cover or one that has a reflective cover. Plant Surge, read a book with trees on the cover. Force Valor, read a guilty pleasure book. Or Transfer Force, read a book that is a different genre than the last book you read. Then we have our neutral abilities, which are called powers. And so these ones are Telekinesis, read a book with a hand on the cover. Force Healing, read a book that is a comfort read or has cozy vibes. Then we have Battle Meditation. This is one that I enjoyed last year. So this is to use a random number generator of 0 to 3. And the result you get is the number of books you have to read. So we envision this kind of like taking a nap. So sometimes you wake up very refreshed. Other times you take a nap and you wake up and feel really crappy. So depending on what number you get, that could kind of like equate to that. I remember last year I got right in the middle and I got a 2. I was hoping for a 0, but I got a 2. So you never know what you're going to get. It's a fun prompt though. And yeah. Anyways, continuing along, we have Force Barrier, which is read a book with a cover you don't like. Force Empathy, which is read a book you previously put down. So this would be like a DNF. You must start the book from the beginning, but rereads would also count for this if you wanted to just reread a book that you enjoyed. Doppelganger, read a book with at least 2 of the same thing on the cover. The last one here is a fun one. It's called precognition. And so this is to roll a dice. Whatever number the dice lands on is the letter your title needs to start with. So if you roll a 1, your book has to start with an A. If you roll a 2, your book has to start with a B. If you roll a 3, your book has to start with a C. If you roll a 4, your book has to start with an R. If you roll a 5, your book has to start with an S. And if you roll a 6, your book has to start with a T. And then, of course, we have our dark side prompts, which are called corruptions. And so these ones are deadly sight. Read a book with a cover that has someone or something looking right at you. Memory walk. Read a book that has something you fear. Drain knowledge. Start a series. Transfer essence. Read a book where the font size of the author's name is bigger than the title. And force lightning. Read a book where the main character has powers. Now we'll jump into the invaluables and go over those. All right, so we'll jump into companions first. And to be honest, I don't know how to say some of these words because Marcus set up this whole thing. Like, this readathon was completely done by him. I'm just being the voice of it for you guys. But yeah, so this first one is Fadhier. I don't know how to say that. But that is a companion, and that one is to read a book where someone looks unhappy on the cover. Then the next one is Porg, and so that is to read a book with a round object on the cover. And then Vulptex, read a book with crystals or ice on the cover. Then we have Starships, and so we got our TIE Fighter, read a book where the people on the cover are wearing formal/fancy clothes. The Millennium Falcon, my favorite starship. Read a book with a number or an animal in the title. And then X-Wing. Read a book with an X in the title or the author's name. Then we have weapons. And so we got our blaster. Read a book with a weapon on the cover. Bowcaster. Read a book that sounds like it was made for you. So this would be a book that like has all the key elements you like in a book. And it sounds like it was perfect for you. That would be that. Lightsaber, read a book where the title and author's name are different colors. All right, now jumping over to partners. Now remember, on our calling sheets, some partners are accessible to some callings, but not all. So make sure that you look at your calling sheet when going through the partner prompts to make sure that you are able to do them based on which calling you chose. So for the allies, this is the light side. We have Rebel Alliance, which is read a book where the published date is in the same month as your birthday. Or Resistance. Read a book that's been adapted in some way. So that could be like a movie, TV, a play, any adaptation works. Then we have Assistance, and so this is for the neutral. And so we got Droids. Read a book that has advanced technology. Or Smugglers. Read a book where the main character has your dream job. Then we have Accomplices for Dark Side. And so Galactic Empire. Read a book you feel pressured to read. So this would be one where it's like a lot of people are talking about this book and it's getting like all the buzz and you feel like you need to read it too. That would be like that situation. And then First Order, read a book where the title starts with one of your initials. Next up we have titles, and this is another new addition this year, but you can get them by doing different prompts and completing like little mini challenges. And so these things kind of go together. So there's the monikers and the achievements. They like pair, but you can choose which one you want. As you can see, which the sheet will be on the screen here, you can see that there's different ones for each one. So you don't have to like use a specific one. You can choose which one you want. But you can only do one moniker and one achievement counting as like points towards like the rank at the end. You can do as many as you want of these, but you can only count them once for points, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so we'll go through the monikers. So if you completed 5+ light side prompts, so that would be enlightenments and allies, you would be able to choose one of these. So you could be like enlightened, virtuous, admired, holy. And the way it kind of works, so like with achievements then also, say for example, you read 250 pages within a day, then you could do like an admired racer or a holy ace. Like they would work together and pair, and you would write them on your character sheet. There's a spot for each of them on there, so you'll see that when you see the character sheet. You can also just have one of them. You don't have to have both, so you could just be virtuous or you could just be a racer. This is up to you guys on how much you want to read and how far you want to go in your calling. All right, we'll continue going along. So if you wanted to be powerful, chaotic, indifferent, or ascended, you would have to complete 6+ neutral prompts. So those are powers and assistants. If you wanted to be corrupted, evil, feared, or tainted, you would complete 5+ dark side prompts, so corruptions and accomplices. If you wanted to be caring, beloved, charming, and mesmerizing, then you would complete all 3 companion prompts. Crafty, shifty, driven, and swift would be completing all 3 starship prompts. Deadly, lethal, ruthless, and vicious would be completing all 3 weapon prompts. And friendly, worshipped, desired, or wanted would be completing 4+ partner prompts. Then on the achievement side, I already did the first one, so I'll go to the next one, which is agent, spy, and mole. So you would have to complete 10+ ability and partner prompts. Engineer, craftsman, and technician would be reading 10+ books. Marksman, sniper, and sharpshooter would be reading 3 books completely within 7 days, which I know some of you guys can do very easily. For me, that is not something I can do very easily, so props to anybody that gets that one. Medic, healer, and caretaker. So this is to read a total of 2,024+ pages. Swordmaster, gladiator, warrior. This is to read a book over 650 pages. And then wrangler, tamer, keeper. This is completing all invaluable prompts, so companions, starships, and weapons. I don't know which one you guys are going to go for, but I'm thinking of going for like the crafty healer, because that one, like that means I only really have to read like 65 pages a day to meet that 2,024 page mark. Obviously I can read more than that, but I think that's generally doable, so I think that one would be one that I could attain. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments down below which ones you're thinking of going for. Okay, last thing to go over is the rules, so I'll go through those now. The rules are light-aligned callings cannot complete dark side prompts, so those are corruptions or accomplices. Dark-aligned callings cannot complete light side prompts, so enlightenments or allies. Neutral prompts, powers, and assistants can be completed by any calling. Each prompt and bonus can only be done once. Only 1 prompt per book. Titles are bonuses and not prompts. They can be earned throughout the readathon by completing prompts or challenges. A title is comprised of a single moniker, 2 points, and a single achievement, 3 points. You can only have and receive points for 1 moniker and 1 achievement. If you fulfill the requirements for multiple monikers and or achievements, you choose one from each to have as your title. For Jedi and Sith callings, weapon prompts are +1 points, except for the lightsaber prompt, which is 2 points instead. And yeah, that's it. So I know that's a lot of information to take in. I hope that I did a decent job of explaining that to you guys, but we will have the PDFs linked down below so that you can also get those and get the access to it and read them through yourself. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having you guys join in on the Star Wars Readathon. I have a co-host joining me so far, one that's planned, Steph from Coffee Over Apples, and then I have a few others that are maybes, so if they join in, I will mention them in my TBR video. Anyways, let me know if you guys are going to take part in the Readathon. I'm super excited to see who's going to join in, and put down in the comments below if you do plan to join and what your calling is that you're planning to go for, or like if you're planning to do like a fun title, then yeah, put that down below as well, because yeah, I'm excited to see who's going to join in with us this year. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button to get notified when I post new videos. I post new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until next time, may the Force read with you.